continue part 2 in hermeneutics from the Greek word, Greek nouns that hermeneunia, and from Greek verb that hermenuo. And that's from the Greek Hermes and the Romans Mercury. And the Greek Hermes is an Olympian god in Greek religions and mythology, the son of Zeus and Palladium and Maya. He is the second youngest of the Olympian gods. Of course, we know that these are just the myth. Myth means it's not true, but we just know, study about the etymology of the word, means the original of the word. So we just look at it as just an history, but it's not true. Okay, so Hermes is a god of transitions and boundaries. He's quick and cunning and moves freely between the worlds of the mortal and divine, and emissary and messenger of the gods and the ancestor between mortals and divine, and conductor of souls into the afterlife. So the persons that move between the gods and the world. Okay, so câu chuyện này là cái câu chuyện mythology là những câu chuyện thần thoại, mà đã là thần thoại tức là không có thật. Ok, nó chỉ là tưởng tượng ra thôi. Thì tên ông này là Mercury theo tiếng La Mã, và nó là Hermes. Và thằng Hermes này là đấng mà đi giữa con người với Đức Chúa Trời, rồi đi giữa những cái biên giới, không có biên giới nào ngăn cản được, đi giữa những cái buôn giới và mang cái thông tin từ những cái thần Zeus ở trên rồi cho đến con người ở dưới, vân 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 vân. Cái này là thần thoại thôi, never mind. Ok, nó là cái tên học về cái Hermes. So, trong cái từ ngày xưa thì cái giữa những cái vị thần và muốn nói chuyện với con người thông qua ông Hermes, rồi ông Hermes sẽ nói với chuyện với con người, rồi ngược lại con người như vậy. Thì nó giống là như là cái the mediator vậy, là đấng trung bảo vậy. Nhưng mà thực sự there's no other mediator, only God and man. So between God language, Hermes when talk to God is talk using God's language. Hermes talk to human using human language. Okay. And then we move on. Definitions of hermeneutics and related terms. Hermeneutics, the science, principles, and art, task by which the meaning of the biblical text is determined. So we have to know, okay, just make it simple. The hermeneutics are science and arts of rules that the biblical text is determined. Okay, so there are a set of rules, set of principles, set of arts that use to help us to determine the meanings of the text. Exegesis means the determinations of the meanings of the biblical text in its historical and literary context. So exegesis means the meanings, okay, the meaning of the biblical text according to his history and literacy context. So exposition, the communication, okay, of the message, of the meaning of the text along with its relevance to present day hearers. So exposition is about what? To expose, to communicate the message to the hearer. Homiletics is a science, rules of science and art by which the meanings and relevance of the biblical text are communicated in the preaching situation. The pedagogy is a science and art by which the meanings of the relevance of the biblical text are communicated in a teaching situation. It's so hard. Okay, so now I summarize it in a simple words English. Hermeneutics are rules, a set of rules. It's science and art that help us to determine the meanings of the text, meanings of the biblical text. Exegesis, it is the meanings of the biblical text according to its history and the context. While exposition means to communicate, to show the message to the hearer. Okay, and then homiletics is show the message in the case of preaching, while pedagogy is show the message in the case of teaching. Okay, and now we look at this one. We have observations. Okay, seeing the content and hermeneutics. This is the basic of all. The principle for comprehend the contents is basics of all. After that, let's go to exegesis. After you observe with the rules, with the hermeneutics, you understand the content. That is exegesis, to comprehending the content. And then we move to theological. That is correlation. What is that correlations? Is correlate with other passages in the Bible, the truth in the Bible, and the basic truth. Okay, and then after that, you personal applications, and after that, you will use it for either for teaching or for preaching. Okay, homiletics, preaching, pedagogy, teaching, and then what's more for the purpose is to exposition with exhortation. Okay, to show it to the hearer, and the final goal is to edification. Okay, changing of heart. Step in Bible study process: AICA. OICA. O observation, I interpretation, C correlations, and A application. And we look at this. O is observation. You observe, seeing the context with the hermeneutics together, okay, with the rules that you have studied. And then exegesis means you understand it, the content of it, the message of it, and then correlations means connected with other passages, and then A application. So you can see over here in this paragraph, they divided two stage. Study stage, from here to here, a study stage. You study the context, you observe. Observation means you read again and again to observe what the context saying. Okay, you see contents, and then apply the rules that we will study, 24 principles in hermeneutics, to apply it. Okay, to see the two context of it, and then you comprehend the content. Okay, exegesis, and then after that you compare with your theological doctrine. On the doctrines, is this contradict, or how about other parallel passages, what they say, etc. And then application. All of these are study stage. And after you understand, you study, you apply for yourself, and then you teach other people. That is presentation stage. Okay, the center of the study stage is exegesis, and the center of the presentation is exposition. Now, we move to two steps over here: exegesis and exposition. Guideline. Hermeneutics will help us. 24 principles we will go to study will help us to understand the meaning of the context, meaning of the Bible, what does it say, what does it really say. That's exegesis. And then we study homiletics and pedagogy. Homiletics only for men, the art and science of preaching. Okay, preaching, and pedagogy for teaching, for all. That is we will summarize it in the exposition. And then we will see it over here. One more time there. Hermeneutics is science, principle, and art task by which the meaning of the biblical text is determined. Exegesis are the determinations of the meaning of the biblical text in its historical and literary context. Okay, step 1. Okay, hermeneutics and exegesis. Okay, now the hermeneutics and exegesis is compared like the raw food. Okay, here. And then the exegesis, like the cooking, the food is already there. Okay, this is here. Okay, this is a raw food. Raw food you consider is as the Bible text. Okay, you observe it, you look at it. Okay, now you have belly, red belly, green belly, onions, tomatoes, some stick, some pork. Oh, now what I'm going to do with it? How do I'm going to cook it? Okay, so this is the observation. It's like the Bible, the raw verse in the Bible when you read. It's like that. Okay, and then the cooking cooking stage, that is you using the hermeneutics principles. Hermeneutics is like this one. It's like the formula of cooking. Okay, how many potatoes, how many how many salt, how many garlic, how many oil, how to cook it. So that is hermeneutics. Those are principles, arts that we use to interpret the Bible, to to cook. And exegesis is the cooking. Okay, you cooking it, make it a nice products. You cook it, you mix it together. You use fluently the 24 principles to understand the message, to make the message become meaningful and tasteful. Reveal the true message. Okay, because if you look at the raw Bible, it's like that. But after you study, oh, it will become so delicious. It's like that. Okay, and then you write down. Okay, this write down. Okay, so here the explanations here. The observation is the raw Bible. You look at, you observe it, you read the Bible, all the context, the verses over and over and over again. Okay, that is observe what is really are, what is really say. And then after that, exegesis means you use the principles, hermeneutics principles. You mix it, you cook it. Just follow all those principles to understand, make the food delicious. Okay, that's hermeneutics. Those are principles. Okay, then expositions. Then this time is communication, showing off. Okay, so exposition has two kinds: as homiletics and pedagogy, for teaching and for preaching. Homiletics is for teaching, preaching. Pedagogy for teaching. We know it already. It's compared as the decoration. Okay, so you after the food already cooked, it's so delicious already, right? But how do you show that message to other people? Okay, the food is delicious, but how you put it on the dish and put on the table to the customer to eat, that is exposition. Okay, how you communicate the message to the hearer? You are just going to just go there and say, last night I study this, and I go to all these principles, and I God revealed to me this message, blah blah blah. Oh, no one will preach like that way. Okay, you have to use some decoration, or you related to some decorations about love, and you get some story of decoration about love. Demonstration. I mean demonstration. You take a story. Okay, let's talk about faithfulness, and you get the dog as a demonstration. You have a dog, I have a dog, and my dog is like this. Even I do not give him food for many days. When I come back, he's still faithful to me, and it's reminded me of blah 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 blah. And then you keep on like that. Is the demonstration, right? In here also the same, like you you show the food. You not only just put the food in the plate and give it all to the customer. No, they put some proper place. See that the red is over here, the yellow is over here, and you add some colorful like chilies, carrot. You make it colorful, branches, leaves, put it in. Even the customer do not eat it, but it's make the food more it's more presentable, it's more delicious, it's look more attractive. So that is exposition. Okay, exposition is an art of and science art of what? Of preparing communication. Okay, that is communication the message to the hearer. Okay, these the tips. Okay, that's why you need study homiletics and pedagogy. In other subject, you know that subject in homiletics, how to prepare the message to preach. Okay, there. Okay, well, beautiful, right? And all people like the way to hear, right? Do you want to hear the preachers always like make you sleepy? Just do not know how to arrange the message. After you listen to a message, you do not know how many points that he is preaching. Okay, no. So uh, we move on. This is decoration, okay? Then we move on. That's it. That's it. Good idea of decoration. See? Wow, so beautiful. See? You have the message. You use the tools, all the tools that you have, the pictures, this and that. You perform it, the art to perform it, to teach in teaching. Okay, so it's really an art. The same with preaching. So 2 Timothy 2:15, study to show thyself approved unto God, a workman that needeth not to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth. So passage of scriptures, there's only one interpretation. There are only one interpretations upon the passage of scripture. Okay? But if we cannot interpret it, then stop. Okay? Because there are many mystery. The Bible is God's book. There's some mystery that God's still keeping for himself. But if there's interpretation, there's only one interpretation. But there are many principles, okay, that you are using. And we based on this approach, you found the different things. Based on that approach, you found different things. It's like two persons. One is an biologist. One is an what's that? The one who take the one who always the weatherman. No, the one who always talk about the weather, about the sky, the sun, the moon, the earth, the naturalist. I do not know. If there are two persons walking on the same road, the biologist will hear the sound of the cricket, while the geophysicist man, ông nhà địa lý hả? Nhà địa lý. I do not know that's term in English. The one who will take care of the geography. We'll see what we see. Kind of plant is growing, the tree is growing, the weather. Okay, so those are principles like that. One interpretation, one road, but many principles, many approach. And from then, they will have many kind of application. Okay, so that's all for this today.